I'll be back, Will.
I'm gonna play again.
Is that what we do it here?
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke it real quick. It's that time.
So let's all do this together.
Alicia.
Get that chief out of there.
I'm just thinking about the fact that
only feel as guilty as they make you.
Oh my gosh. The LeBron thing. They put the crying Jordan meme in the corner of his eye.
Those shitty headphones that you're not using.
I kind of figured it.
Yeah, we're still on there.
Y'all are definitely, okay, there we go. I can hear myself. Yay! I'm a happy person.
Look up the pregame boys at gmail.com. Thursday mornings at 9. Damn. You guys alright? Raw, I'ma give it to you. No trivia, no cocaine, no Olivia.
Nice feeling a beat. Never will. Forever others.
I reject your reality and
Every time.
Yeah, it's about time for me to go to bed.
Today, oh, it's on you.
A hip-hop will rock and shock the nation, like the Emancipation Proclamation. A hip-hop won't bang your head. You might have went into the wall and bang your head.
Oops.
Well, I'm the sire. I set the microphone on fire. Rap styles carry and very like Mariah.
That was fresh.
Tag.
Dang is exactly what I'm saying.
Poontang. So yeah, we're still on the air on my channel, so we just live and going in. So, how's everybody doing in here?
fantastic.
This is your main man, William Cuzzo, coming to you live from the virtuary. I got my man Duchess and my homeboy TARDIS of the fence.
Yes, how we
Daily Duchess while I'm smoking Duchess.
Two girls, one
And y'all,
cup.
and you can cross-platform play with Fortnite like that.
PC can cross-platform with PlayStation or Xbox, but Xbox and PlayStation can't cross-play.
So the PC is the main broadcast. Everything's going into the PC.
I don't know, I never really played PC games, so.
So who has the PC?
Well, technically, it's just me and Matt, so we're using both PlayStations. I did hit it, I passed the...
That is a blasphemous lie.
That is not a blasphemy lie. But yeah, he just has the audio running through the computer.
I'm just trying to figure out where the computer comes into play.
Are you talking about the
So I'm hearing audio. I'm hearing audio from your computer.
audio from the computer?
The audio from my computer? What about it?
Is that what he's hearing us through right now?
He will be in just a hot second.
I mean, I hear you. Oh, that might be your main microphone. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys have too many microphones.
Where is that? Shit. Where is that?
Wait, that's what's making it all fucking...
No, it's not. Bro, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's probably through the other guy's mic.
He can hear you, but they're mine. Talk to him.
So he's that.
Like, I can hear someone, but it's through whoever's, you know what I mean? Someone's main mic is I guess that's Dutch. Dutch, your mic is to both of us. Both of y'all.
Yeah, it's lagging so hard.
You got the effects going through there.
Yeah. It's physically impossible. I have them. I have so many around here.
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at the little status bars, Tardy's got tricks.
No, actually, never mind. I don't listen to it.
It's all
My voice somehow fucked up.
Yeah, it's like robot. I am a robot. I have a robot vagina.
Robot vagina. Robot vagina. All of the vaginas.
Peaches come from a can.
It's weird. It's weird that you wanted me to talk about that.
What?
What? Okay.
You want to tell me? Are the U.S. President of the U.S.?
So where we going, gentlemen?
It don't matter.
It should matter. Should be the most important decision of our lives.
Let's go to Let's Be Real.
Risky
Risky
I don't know where
business.
that is, but I'm assuming you meant here.
Y'all going to risky business?
See, if you guys haven't gotten to the point where you don't have to play some work and you just already know where it is.
Yes.
That should be enough time
We're
to
there.
hit this.
It's still just fun to throw that around the map several times.
I always put it on
Just for good measure.
Risky business.
No
Always threaten
limit
cats.
J-Banks.
I really feel like that's like a promotion for like a
Yo,
in jail like bank,
Yeah, right? Like commentary thing.
or maybe like he's the one who provides the messages. It's like, yo, no limits on that J Banks. Yo, I get what you do in J Banks. That's smart, man. You're gonna
Kinda
your
reminds
business
me
can go
of,
everywhere.
Kind of reminds me of J.G. Wentworth.
it's called
Nah, man.
J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now.
That's why it doesn't remind you of JG Wentworth, man. JG got that one jingle.
You have an annuity, but you need cash now. Call
I try to do it
J.G.
differently every time.
877 cash now. I know the dance and everything, you guys.
They tried to do it differently, but let's be real. They know what their bread and butter is. It's their phone number.
It's always the phone number.
Yeah, well, I hate how they always like, it's my
real.
money, I want it now. Well, I
But they're
want
right.
free money.
It is their fucking money, and they should be getting it now.
You have an annuity, but you need cash now. Call JG.
I don't think they've ever gone with that like crescendo of notes.
You guys haven't seen the commercial with the NSYNC kids?
Which one? Lance Bass, the one that wanted to go to space?
Not that one, but why does he want to go to space?
I mean, let's be honest. That's about the only reason I would get famous.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, there's definitely shit out there.
Well,
yeah, you say there's nothing there. I counter that with bullshit.
imagine it being real life Fortnite.
All right, okay. I guess I found something I enjoy.
But
yo, I even told Alyssa.
Imagine no one's online.
I've been there.
What?
Yeah.
Like nobody's online playing at all?
Yeah, because the servers are fucking down.
Yeah, just imagine the servers are down. That's what space is like.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's also a lot more brutal than Fortnite.
Every so often there's like a loading screen, and that loading screen, you're like, that was either a chair from a mission like 30 years ago, or that was definitely an alien.
Yeah, yeah, they just found some material that said it might be
since we talked about this on our show last night,
what show?
Oh, I have a radio show.
No, yeah, give me all that info.
Yeah, I'll kick it over to you right after this episode, or after this match. But anyways, on our episode last night, we kind of touched on the Fermi's paradox, except for there was this like super liberal jackass who was convinced that there are no aliens because they all died out due to climate change.
Some of them did.
Yo, okay. What, I asked this on air, and I gotta ask it again. What's the fucking climate difference if it's already raining diamonds?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but
sure as fuck isn't habitable to begin with.
From what I hear, some of the aliens that may have been here can't withstand the climate. You know what I mean? Like that's common knowledge. Well, like
I got someone.
Like that's how War of the Worlds ended. That's how, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the
it's still Hollywood.
Well, no. A lot of that has truth in it.
Hey, does anybody want to come help me here?
I'm trying.
Engaged.
Man, I'm lagging.
I'm not.
Where's that no limit guy?
Like,
there's a no limit soldier.
Well, the dude's.
Whoa!
I think shooting at you. Yeah. That's the motherfucker I was shooting at. Oh, there should be a guy right over here. Yep.
Whoa! I'm lagging like a motherfucker. I'm lagging.
Yeah, we can hear it in your audio. I thought it was over there.
Damn it.
Hang on.
I tried to bring her out in the open. She gonna kill my ass.
Damn, she just built a house around me. Like I can't get out. Yo, that was kind of smart.
For a photo.
Yo, so about the aliens in this climate. But no, aliens don't die out.
No, dude. Fermi's paradox is a description of why we haven't seen any, and the reason I believe we haven't seen any is because they've died. We are one of the last. Look at Mars.
Well,
all right. Look at what they're finding on Mars right now. I mean, granted, there's methane everywhere, but still, at the same time, they're finding more and more that's pointing towards evidence that, you know, that there's more out there.
Well, yeah, of course there is more out there.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard of Nibiru?
Nibiru?
Nibiru. Nibiru.
I can't say that I have.
Okay. But you've heard of Krypton, right?
I mean, the from Superman?
Yeah. That whole story is grounded in truth. Like
well,
there's
most stories are. Do you have
this-
Android or do you have iTunes or Apple rather? Android or Apple App Store or whatever, and look for that right there, and you'll see our app.
You got an app?
Fuck yeah, I got an app.
Do you build it?
Been doing the radio. Been doing the radio for 4 years.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Cop Block?
No.
Look into that. Like, just go to that on Facebook, and then ask the same question you just asked again.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, basically, a couple years ago I was writing some fucking articles, you know, and just throwing them up on Facebook, and some dude really liked what we had to say, and then a couple weeks later we ended up doing a checkpoint video on some state troopers who were in our, you know, town, and the interaction ended up getting us a YouTube video with over 1 million hits. So I ended up going on this program as a guest, and the next week they asked me to come back, and 4 years later I've got my second show on that network. I've never not been on since that day I came on as a guest.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
he's
damn.
peeing.
So you got accomplishments.
That's what I do, man.
Me and some guys, we drink a lot and we go online and just talk shit. So that's
I
that.
always like. I have like a flaw in how I do things. Like, basically what always ends up happening is, like, I invest so hard that I burn out, and once I burn out I have to take some time and will, like, sit back and let myself be poor and fucking not really you know, strive to do much, and then out of nowhere it's like, okay, I'm tired of being poor, let's go make money again, and I fucking just out of nowhere, you know, start making money, and
they just right back to it like you never had paper.
yeah, dude, that's exactly where I'm at. Last week, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, alright, fuck it, I found a really good deal on some really good nugs, and I went, okay, I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna do that for a little bit. That was the most successful fucking move I've made in this year this far, man.
Hey, when you can, you can.
Dude, clicheing, man. Just gonna cliche white boy it.
You don't have to be
It's
a
a
white
lie.
boy. You're a man.
Oh, dude, I ain't even white, so I mean, I'm my complexion is light.
So are you white or not?
By blood, no.
No. Are you
I'm
white or
I'm
not?
more.
Do you check white?
What part of the year? What? No, I don't.
Like on
I
tests?
check. Nope, I check Hispanic.
White Hispanic, because there's that one category that says whatever descent, Hispanic descent or some crazy shit like that. You
Yeah.
know, what I'm saying is that it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You can identify as a chair if you want to. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and really what it comes down to is, at all the right times, Mexican as hell. All the rest of them, oh, I'm white. If I ever want to fill something out government form-wise, I want to be as white as possible, as much as possible.
of course.
We're a lot nicer.
Why wouldn't you
We're a
want
lot
to be?
nicer.
What? I mean, why would you want to be? I'm black. I'm black. You know what I mean? So, whenever you could, you know what I mean, get a one-up, why wouldn't you?
Man,
If I had some Irish in my blood, I'd say I'm Irish, hell. But I don't.
I gotta be real, man. I don't envy the struggle at all.
Yeah. My kids. Perfect.
Well, your kid, you know, was, you know, almost, you know, 80 years late. But, Hitler would be proud.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Holy shit. Hitler, you.
Okay.
Yeah. Pure
This child.
blue eyes.
Like the
Yeah,
Terminator.
dude. He glows like powder, but not in a bad way.
Like, I'm just all mixes of white.
It's
And then
the funniest
there's
thing
my
I've ever seen, because you take a look at his parents and you're like, there's a maybe a little bit of blonde.
Blonde hair, blue eyed.
Like,
My son is blonde with blue eyes, and both my daughters are brown hair with blue eyes.
Well, I got a son. He's black. I mean, I don't know. He's just.
how's that working out?
I'm not saying my kids are any more perfect than any other kid. I'm just saying. Hold on.
Snobby. Like, how's that been working out? It sucks. That's what it does. Yo, check it out.
For real, man.
Real shit. The day he was born, I had to take when I finally took him home. For some reason, I stepped outside to smoke a cigarette, and there were two cops with their guns already drawn.
That sounds
Oh
wonderful.
my god.
And when I stepped outside, they pointed them directly at me. I closed the door immediately, but they still came to my door. And I had a sign in my yard that said, "Hey," that said "baby boy" or whatever the fuck. That says there was a stork in my yard, but
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you
I could
now.
have died.
I can tell you right now, if I was any darker during the summer, I'd be trying to go and commit suicide every week. I could start sending you videos where you would look at it and go, if I even fucking wanted to attempt that. If I even wanted to attempt that, that is fucking bullshit. And
There's a dude in the third house.
the reason why I say that is because I go and I've got video after video of me and a couple buddies just getting in a truck and following cops. Just the way that they follow people, we just follow them.
Man, I ain't following no damn cop. I can't even look at him.
See, you can't even look at them in this town. they're fucking afraid when I show up because they know I'm gonna make money off of them.
Well, hot damn, because when I look at them, they're like, "Hey, come here," and I'm like, "Yo, I didn't do shit." I was at the CVS and I just looked at a cop and he looked like he was just like, "Yo." And I maintain because I grew up with I'm not that black, you know what I mean? I went to an all white school.
10 hits in a single shot.
Yeah, I'll take this mini unless you need it.
No, you good.
I mean this
I
when I say mini I say this light machine.
Yeah, I seen it.
I'm talking
Alright, so
GTA.
so you want to hear, like, okay, you sit there, you're like, I can't even, like, look at him type of thing. They don't get the chance to approach me. I approach them every single time I see them. If it looks like they're going to try to engage me, I've got a camera in their face and I'm walking towards them. They start asking me questions, I start asking them harder questions. If they can't articulate a reason for why they're talking to me, I will turn and walk away from them.
Shit.
And I have this on video, like the one cop sat there and he was like, "You need to move." I was like, how about no? I was like, "You can continue on going on with your stop and do whatever the hell you'd like to do." I was like, "But I'm gonna go ahead and stand right here." And he's like, "Well, I'm asking you to move." I was like, "Well, is that a lawful order or is that a request?" He's like, "It's a request." I was like, "Oh, well then you can go fuck yourself."
Wow.
And he was like, "What?" He's like, "What'd you say to me?" I was like, I said, "Go fuck yourself." He was like, I have no intention of moving from this public sidewalk. And, like, you could tell this dude in his entire career had never been once told to go fuck himself by somebody.
Who is that?
I take it you're not alone.
Yeah, there's somebody in this fucking tower up here.
Oh, there's another person in the house. I'm dead. So...
Damn.
After 11.
This is gonna be my last one.
1, 2. So, I'm gonna tell you, though, the most ridiculous story of,
I'm not walking up to no
what I've
cop.
done thus far. You see, I've not only walked up to cops, I've sat there and after they've taken property, I've written up a bill, turned around, went into their precinct with a camera, and tendered them a bill for $500 a day for every, day that they were going to hold on to my property.
Oh shit.
And they know goddamn well that I'll turn around, and if they accept it, I'm going to take them to court. If they don't accept it, I have record that I just tried to hand it to them, they didn't accept it, and they know that they're going to get one certified. They're going to see me in court. They're going to pay me.
Man, I couldn't even get my phone back from the damn police station.
We've gotten weed back from the fucking cops, and this is not a legal state.
Dude, the cop gave me my phone at my court date.
Shit, the cop gave me your fucking grinder, your bowl, and everything back because it's sentimental. Because he thought he was on camera and got fucking scared.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Yeah,
dude, they had him dead to rights.
I hate this load fucking screen.
Man, that's crazy.
This was one of the first times like I had actually met him, but they had him dead to rights out front of my job, and I walked out front with a dead cell phone, and just started hammering the cop with questions. They were trying to hit him on a retail theft, found weed on him and all this different shit, and he didn't go anywhere.
This
Cops
motherfucker want to go to
disengaged.
retail row. Hold on. This motherfucker want to go to retail row.
Nope.
Nope.
That ain't happening. If you can go there all by your lonesome,
He's gonna die.
fuck out of here. Bye, Valerie.
Oh, yeah.
That was
He retracted that
No.
statement. Oh wait.
No, he doubled the fuck down.
Okay.
Fuck you, Valerie. Let's go to Moisty.
Moisty.
Yeah, we might pick up his loot from him dying.
So yeah, you
But,
so you guys just walked up on him like that?
Yeah. I walked into the precinct, asked him to come out, and then handed them a bill.
Man, shit.
I got a call 2 days later to come.
They would at least fuck me up.
Yo, you want to hear a crazier one?
They would at least hit me with a billy club or something.
Exactly.
I've got crazier.
I've seen crazier.
All of these stories take place while I'm on felony probation, by the way. But, my PO walks into my apartment, finds 2.5 ounces, bags, bowls, scales, bongs, fucking, dude, anything you really want to be able to be like, oh, this motherfucker was selling weed. So, obviously, you know, I'm sitting there looking at my woman like, well, might as well start getting real familiar with what a back judge is. And, put down the precinct, I'm sitting in there, and they're talking to me, they're trying to get me to you know, say what, like, whose it is, and I was like, man, well, I see where you found it. I was like, at this point, the only thing I have to say is, you know, you either need to charge me with something, or you can talk to my lawyer. And so they were like, fine, we're gonna go ahead and charge you, at which point my PO's like, well, I'm gonna have to see you tomorrow up, you know, up in front of everybody to go ahead and, you know, have you go back to jail. He legitimately thought that I was going to have to sit there and be transferred.
There's a motherfucker building up on that crab up there. Sorry.
So he leaves. As I'm sitting there in the precinct, I sit there and I start grilling the cops. I start asking them things like, so, at which point did you decide that you were going to start going to school, going through an entire career to start violating my rights so I could one day own your house? It was like, at what point did you make that conscious decision? Like, grilling them like that. So, after a while, you know, I started putting enough doubt that, you know, legally, you know, without them having the ability to prove that that was my stuff, it was only found in the residence, but it, you know, it wasn't found on me. It wasn't found on my stuff. So, you know, at that point, they had to let me go. Judge basically sat there and let me out on an ROR. While on felony probation with this, because that's how sketch it was.
What's an ROR?
So anyways, they let you out on your own recognizance. Basically, they give you like a $5,000 bail, but then turn around and are like, well, actually though, even though you're, you know, being arrested and we're giving you a bail, you're white enough to be able to go ahead and
oh shit. Yo. Hello?
Yo.
Yo, this is interesting. Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, what they do is they take a look at, you know, a couple of different factors, mainly your financial abilities to pay, you know, fines, and also, you know, if you're likely to show up. If you're likely to show up, they'll turn around and take a $5,000 fine or bail and just be like, okay, well, instead of needing a bail bondsman or putting anything down, you're going to show, so just go ahead and leave. If you don't show up, we're just going to tack it onto everything at the end. If you do show up, you don't have to pay anything. So...
But if you don't show up to court, that's an FTA.
oh, yeah, it's tacked on, but beforehand, if you do the process that they tell you to do, you know, up to showing up for your court date, you don't pay anything. So they have to let me out on ROR because the judge has ordered me out on ROR. So I go back to my apartment, I look at my roommate, this young little dude in the face, and I'm like, listen, I was like, I go back for 7 years. I was like, this shit was yours. I was like, so unless you want to learn how to fly, I was like, you're gonna walk down to that police station, you're gonna be like, hey, that shit was mine. I was like, and trust me, we're gonna, you'll be straight. And he did. He only had ARD, didn't even have a tail after that. He only had to fucking go to 6 weeks of classes and was done. But anyways, I go up to my POs the next day. I'd smoked the night before because I thought I was going to get hit, you know, all of this stuff. And it was the morning of, and I was on my way there, and the detective that had, you know, taken me down to the station gives me a ring and, you know, tells me that, you know, I don't have any charges against me. That all the charges have to be dropped, that everything was claimed. So I walk into my PO's office, and I still got that detective's card in my pocket. And he's got a constable standing there, like he's got transport ready. They've got the head of adult state probation sitting there, and he sits there and he's like, okay, so we're gonna be violating you for this. It's like, for what? And it's like, all that shit we found. I was like, all that shit you found in dude's place? I was like, you know, I was staying here. I was like, you have my home plan. I was like, but I can't control what goes on behind other people's locked fucking doors. It's like, you call this number right here, pull out the card, have him call that detective. I was like, see if I'm charged with any fucking thing. Dude, they had to let me leave. They had to let me leave. Like, they've tried falsifying a DUI on me, and I beat that shit without a lawyer. Like, that's the kind of game I come on. I fucking, they tried to chump up a fucking DUI on me. And at that point I'm working for a county fucking elected official. I'm his farm manager. It was 10:30 in the morning. I wrecked my car trying to miss a fox, and they tried to say I was on depressants when I just fucked my car up and I had a concussion. So I didn't even go in there with a lawyer. Again, my PO was like, oh, well, you have this charge on you. I was like, yo, but bro, just let me stay out. I was like, I mean, obviously I'm going to lose all this time. I lose. I was like, but when I win, you're going to realize you would have put me in there for no fucking reason. Exactly what happened. Dude, I trashed the fucking county in the magistrate. It couldn't even get to an actual criminal court. Because the magistrate wouldn't move it to criminal court. They were like, there's no case here. You guys are blowing hot air. Fucking be on your way. They hate me in this area.
Wow.
Yeah. And it benefits
Like,
a lot.
this dude was driving a car that didn't belong to him, that had fucking no registration, no insurance, he has no license, fucking the damn thing's about ready to explode. It's a fucking death trap.
My ex-girlfriend.
He legitimately just